I'm currently filming with my new K&F ND8 to 128 filter, together with the Sony 28mm f2. Now, both of those items could be considered budget options, but are they really? I mean, if the main goal is to get your shot, is to nail the shot, then we're done, aren't we? So that leads me to my main gripe about camera and gear reviews, and that is, why do people always say, it's good for the price? Like, sometimes that is true, yeah, but sometimes that just doesn't work. Like, sometimes we as the end user just want to know, is the product good or is it not good? Can we use it? Will it make kick-ass shots? And if the answer is yes, then there is no for the price. I mean, unless of course the product costs like $1 million, or on the other side of the scale, it comes out of a Kinder Surprise, but no one goes to the movies and says, "Whoa, what a great shot! That looks amazing!" For the price. And I can tell you actually that this lens, the Sony 28mm f2, is actually the lens I've been using most on all these Sony bodies. That lens and my trusty 55mm 1.8. Another thing I find funny about reviewers is, why do people say funny words like the nifty 50? You know what? From now on, this lens here will be known as the Zoomy Woomy on my Cammy Whammy, brought to you by the Sony 2080 Master, because I gimbal a lot on the 28mm, and it's the perfect combination of wide, I can get enough of the environment in, and it's actually pretty good for portraiture. Not as sexy as a 35mm, but definitely looks better than trying to do the same kind of portraits on a 25, 24, and definitely 20. Unless it's like edgy and fashiony. Oh yeah, 24mm, strike that pose. Strike it. Oh yeah, edgy, fashion. Oh yes, I like that one, hold on. Yes, 24mm. Strike that same pose. Bam! 24. So yeah, all we want to know is it good? Will it make kick-ass shots? And if the answer is yes, then good. That's all we want to know. Which leads me to today's topic, the K&F ND8 to 128 variable ND. Now, personally, I don't want to spend heaps on a variable ND, but I can understand why people would want to. I guess they're just scared it's going to ruin their shot if they don't buy an expensive one, right? But we can check that. We'll see if it's got any visible cross artifacts, or vignetting, or a bad color casting. And if it doesn't, then I think you can rest assured, right? That's the point. That's the theme of today's video. If it's a good product, it's a good product. But are there any other reasons? Like, why would you buy a Polar Pro over this? Is it because it's thinner? Agent Gustavo.
Si, Senor Boss.
Why do people buy the Peter McKinnon Polar Pro NDs over something like the K&F here? Is it because it's thinner?
Si, Senor Boss, I guess. And also the most expensive, no?
But if the reason people buy that is so it doesn't vignette, then why don't we just buy a bigger filter and use a step-up ring so it doesn't vignette?
Oh, si, would work, yes? Would work.
Research online for me. Let me know if the glass he uses is somehow magically better, or if it's got something in there that makes it worth 3 times the price.
Oh, okay. Si, boss. Senor Boss. Senor Boss?
So I went online and I bought the 82mm version of the variable ND, because my largest lens is the 24-105 currently, and that has a filter width of 77mm, so it's a little bit of a step up. And while I was online doing my research, I was reading what people were saying about the ND filters, the K&F ND filters. And what people were saying was that K&F's own ND2 to 32 had a little bit more color casting than the ND8 to 128, which is a shame for me because I really liked that range, ND2 to 32. It means I could kind of use it more indoors, crossing indoors and out without the extremes. But then again, I've already got polarizing filters for all my lenses. So that covers me up till about ND4. Oh, and there is actually another item that they sell. They sell a variable ND with a polarizer attached to it. Interesting. So I already have polarized filters anyway, so I didn't want that one. And I was scared off buying the ND2 to 32 because of what people were saying about color casting. And I'm sure you could grade that out. Because of the 3 bad things that we try to eliminate here or test, cross artifact would be the worst. Vignetting, you could probably zoom past it, which we'll get to later. But color casting, arguably you could grade that out. But still I thought, let's go for the best one, ND8 to 128. We'll see anyway. So I've just switched to a gimbal, just so I can show you my filming setup, which is right behind me there. And I've brought us onto the roof of a car park. I thought that'll be a good testing place. It's got a little bit darker, so it's less relevant to be up here, but I thought it'd be good harsh lighting conditions for our test today. And I also thought about going to a park, but have you been to parks lately? It's crazy. There's more people in the parks than there are in the mall. So we're better off filming it here on the roof of a car park. Now, if it was sunnier, which it was before, there are some tricks. I think the best place to position yourself if it's sunny is with the sun behind you. Maybe not directly so it doesn't flare out too bad. So either behind or just off to the side. And if the face is too dark, I'll turn around, you can bounce some light back to the shot. And if the sun is hitting directly too much or making it blow out on the side of the face or whatever, then we scrim out a little bit of light. And to do that today, I was just using my umbrella, but I've just put that to the side actually because I didn't need it. It's actually not bad. There's a bit of cloud cover, which is perfect. We actually don't need any scrimming or reflecting, arguably. Depends how fussy you are. Okay, back on the tripod again. This time, I'm gonna jump behind the camera and replace myself with the much more better looking Lila, and she can just stand there and do awkward faces to the camera and Lila, you can stand back a little bit. So let's let's put your face right there actually so we can see the sky. That's good. We're gonna go through the range and see if we see any cross artifacts. Now this one won't vignette because I'm on the 28mm. Yeah, so I'm on auto ISO, 1 on 50, autofocus and just on auto white balance. And I'm using HLG3 today. So the minimum ISO is going to be 125. Okay, so this is ND8, strike a pose. Oh yeah, this is going to the next little dot, which will be then 16, and then 32. Look around, look left, look right, look happy. Happy to help out. ND64. And I'm just letting the auto ISO compensate, and I'm still at f2, and this is 128. And I think it's performing quite well. We'll look at this later on in the computer. So that's at 128. And there's no numbers on here, there's just these little dots. But there's enough friction in the ring to give me a bit of confidence that it's actually going to sit there at 64. Okay, then there's 32. Look happy, ready, go. Oh yes. And 16. And then lastly, a bit more throw to ND8. Pretty good stuff. Okay, I better wrap this up quickly actually because we're running out of light. Now one more thing I wanted to mention is, when I was looking online, I wanted to buy a lens cap for this thing. So I wanted to know what's the external filter thread, right? And there was no information at all. Because I went and bought this one, an 82mm cap. And does it fit? No. It kind of just, if you squeeze it, it just fits in. So I'm like, damn it. Let's order I measured it, right? Came to 86 mils. So then I ordered an 86mm cap, which is this one. And I'm thinking, great, does that fit? And kind of, but then I discovered the K&F filter doesn't have much rim left. I guess because they're trying to stay thin, so it doesn't vignette. So there's not enough for the little teeth to bite. So shit, and that doesn't fit. And what annoyed me is, I realized something else about gear, but this time shops. Why does everybody show the same picture? The sexy shot. Anyway, so yeah, all websites have the same problem. And if the picture that you're looking for isn't on B&H, I guarantee you, because that's a good site, pretty thorough, then I guarantee you no one else will have it. Like for example, let's say you want to buy a monitor, like a Ninja monitor. And you just want to know, is there like a 1/4" thread on top? You know, to put like a microphone on there, right? Do they have pictures of that? No. But they have the sexy 3/4 angle shot. That would be funny, like instead of that, like YouTubers doing the sliding shot of all products. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't think less of a gear reviewer, YouTuber, if they just left out the sliding sexy shot. I don't really care for the sliding shots, the sexy shots. I'm just grabbing my camera. And who decided that is the sexy shot? What if, instead of a sliding sexy shot, the thing that was in vogue is more of like a John Candy, you know, Casio. Here is the 24 105. What if that was it instead of a sliding shot? But you see what I mean? It's kind of wanky to me. But anyway, why? Why the sexy shot and not the shot of the friggin' top of the monitor so I can see if I can indeed fit a microphone on there? I don't know why. So yeah, we want details about the product. If you're listening, B&H. We don't care for the sexy shot. We just want to know more. No lazy shots. Make it sexy if you want, but still give us the information we need. How about that, eh? Compromise, eh? I actually can't remember if I researched that on B&H. Hang on a second. Agent Gustavo.
See, boss, very late, no?
Yes, it's getting late. Do me a favor, go on B&H and look at the K&F variable ND 8 to 128 filter and let me know if there's any specs or any photos about the external filter thread.
Nada, sí, nada.
So what about the K&F website itself?
KNFC, comprende? Nothing. Nada.
Nothing about the external thread?
Is total same.
Nothing?
Sorry, boss.
Typical.
Boss? Senor boss?
Anyway, overall, pretty good product, I would say. No vignetting, no cross artifacts, although we'll check that on the computer later. So the lens cap issue is pretty much the only issue I had, the external thread, which is not much of an issue at all, really. That's my only gripe. So I think we're done today. It's getting dark. We'll get out of here. That'll do, pig. That'll do.